Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing. Today I'm coming to you with my Sunday's Art of Truth. I again was struggling a little bit this week with what I wanted to create around the season. So we're in between, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and I'm working on my Winter Wonderland journal. So I thought I would go ahead and just kind of springboard off of this project and talk with you about the magic of seasons. So the inspiration kind of was prompted by this Christmas metal bit from Tim Holtz that says Season of Magic. And it got me thinking about the seasons. And I've talked a lot about that in terms of kind of my struggles around seasons and history and things like that, just kind of overall. But this caused me to start thinking a little bit differently about all of the seasons. Like, what is it about the seasons, each season, summer, spring, winter, fall, that it evokes in us a different magic? Every season has its own magic, so to speak. And I use that term loosely because I don't believe in magic, but it's the idea of there's mystery, and there's excitement, and there's growth and change and inspiration and all of those things. So that's what I'm going to be talking about, or writing about, in my Sunday's Art of Truth. So, but I decided I'd go ahead and work on the journal as well, and show you kind of what I'm doing and what I'm going to do in the video. So anyway, Sunday's Art of Truth, you can hop over to my blog. The link will be in the description box below the video. And you can check out the inspiration and you can read all about it. So what I did here is I've got a few things. So I went ahead and worked on my signatures. And so I'm going to do a flip through of these. I'm not going to put them into the journal on camera, but I am going to give you a sneak peek into what this journal looks like. Or what it's going to look like. But I did want to do on camera the cover. So I've got all of these bits that I'm going to be using, and I don't want to give you too much of a sneak peek before we actually create it, but I'm going to be building it up on a piece of cardboard, and I'm using fabric from the cover, both this white glittery fabric, which I'll show you in a second, and then this gray toned fabric, which I thought was really perfect. Wasn't exactly what I was looking for the cover, but I was not willing to go hunting for the perfect fabric. So this one is fine because it's going to bring out the gray tones in the kit. So I'm excited about that. But I also wanted to show you what I did with the book. So this is our book. And what I did is I used the gray fabric. So I'll just try to hold that up for you. It's just got a really nice kind of muted, neutral kind of pattern. And I took this fabric, you can see kind of that glue through it, the Fabri-Tac, but I don't mind it. This is going to have a dangle. I went ahead and put my little eyelet there. It didn't really go all the way through, but it's going to be covered up, so I'm not too worried about it. And it's going to just have I'm hoping for a spine dangle this time, so I'm going to be working on that. So, and then I covered the inside with that same fabric. And as you can see, we can see some of that glue. So I would want to do something a little bit different next time because I don't like that. But that's all going to be covered up. You're not going to see it, but it's got this, I don't know if you guys can see that on camera. There you go. It's glittery. It's so cool. And I had a little bit of trouble with my corners because I did them differently than I normally would. So I am going to be putting photo corners on these. In fact, I'm going to look and see where those are. So give me just a quick second, guys. I'm going to pause the camera. I forgot to grab them. Just a moment. Okay, so I found them. So I'm hoping that I've got some in here that will work. These are silver, which I think would be really pretty, but that'll help me with my corners. That got a little bit bugged up because I did a different fold on that corner. And so I wasn't liking that. So we've got 4 of those. And I just got these off of Amazon. I'll try to remember to link them. But we're going to be putting some metal corners on. And then this journal measures 5 and... Boy, I put my notes somewhere else. So hold on. Oh my goodness gracious. I believe it's 5.5 by 8.5. Yes, 5.5 by 8.5 with a 3-inch spine. So our signatures are not going to fill up that space. As you can see, I've got 3 signatures, but I like to space them out so that I can put things in the middle. So like if I create a bulky folio, I can put it in the middle of in between the signatures. And so I'll be sewing these in off camera. So before we start working on the cover, I'm going to show you each of the signatures, just give you a sneak peek. So I'm really, really loving this. So I did some experimenting, something a little bit off script. And again, this is Winter Wonderland kit from My Porch Prints. Absolutely gorgeous digital. So I did use the punch that I have in my stash for that edge. And then on this page, this is I printed some coffee dyed paper on a piece of vellum. And so that's what this page, let me just take this out so you can see the true nature of this. So, it's just vellum. And then I sewed on a piece of just a scrap from the kit along this edge, and then I just tucked this lace underneath it, and I just love it. I think it's awesome. So, and then on this, I created kind of a veil page, so it's going to flip up like this, potentially, and it might have something hanging down here as like a dangle. So that is that. And so now I'm going to put these back in because I want you to actually see it sequentially. So we've got our cover, and we've got, and I print all of my papers on 60-pound paper. I like that heavy, durable way to do that. So, and then I did all my stitching in white. So it makes it a little bit hard to see unless you're looking up close, but I did my zigzag and my straight stitching alternatively. This is a piece of music page from my stash. It's a vintage page. So yeah, and I did, just to reinforce it, I did stitch also along the seam in the center. I did a zigzag stitch there just to kind of reinforce that and give some stability. This one I didn't do anything much. Oh, I did do some white stitching around, and again, it's a little bit hard to see on this paper. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit closer. There we go. That's better. And then we've got another music page. This is another one from my stash. I used some gold floral washi tape to reinforce the fold. When I fold this, the paper cracks, and so I wanted to build that up. I didn't, and then I put a strip on this side. It didn't get on straight, but I don't care. And this actually said, some of it's covered up, but it says there will be no teardrops tonight. So I just like that. This is a page from Good Housekeeping, a magazine from 1962. So that's the first side of it. And then on the other side, I put a vintage music page. So because I didn't really like the print that was on the back. This is a piece that I did. This isn't from the kit. This is from someone else. I believe it might be from, I'm not sure where I got that one. I'll look it up. But I printed it on that brown masking paper that I've been talking to you guys about, that 3M masking paper. Let me see if I have that little thing in here. I still do. A subscriber told me that I could actually print on it, and I did. So that's what this is. It's so amazing. And then this is another page from the kit, and I just did my white stitching around the edges, and then it's got a great writing space. The signatures are small because I didn't want to bulk it up too much. So I think they're let's see how many pages, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, oh, 8. That's still plenty for me. So that is the first signature. And then this is the second one. And I'm just gonna show you, and then I'll probably speed it up so I don't drag this on and on. that is it. That is the 3 signatures. So I'm looking forward to getting those into the journal. So let's go ahead and work on the front. So I'm not probably going to do anything with the back. I generally don't. I might put a pocket on it later, maybe a fabric pocket, but we'll see. And I'll do I'm going to try to figure out how to do a dangle or a tassel of some kind. So that's in my mind. So this is what we're going to do to build up the front. So I've got a piece of lace here that is the signature lace for this journal, and it's going to hang over this edge just slightly. I don't want it to be an impediment. I don't want it to be, you know, really hanging over a lot, but that's what I decided on. Got a couple of brads to put in the holes of my little metal verse or words there. And then another piece of lace, and then this is from my Porch Prints as well. This is the Vintage Christmas Portraits, and I just thought she was perfect. And I did already ink around the edges, and I just love it. It just looks like she's glowing, and it's got some of those tones in it from like in the kit, that kind of a gray blue. And then you can't really see this on camera, but her dress is kind of a really, really pale plum almost. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's kind of a grayish purple, I guess, but it's gorgeous. And then some of that paper, that masking paper, a piece of the fabric, another piece of the lace to kind of layer another piece of the paper, and then the white glittery fabric here. So that's what we're going to do. So let me go ahead and ink these other bits up. I forgot to do that. And I just got these domed things in the mail from Amazon. So I'm hoping that it's not going to shred up like my other ones do. They're just so frustrating. So I'm going to try to ink these up as best I can. It's kind of tricky because it's really thin paper, but it's really gives a nice layering effect, and I like it. So anyway, came home. So that inking is done. So let me get my glues over here so we're ready to go. I filled up my Fabri-Tac bottle, so I'm super ready to go there. I'm going to move this up just a little bit. It's a little bit too close to my work surface here. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue this piece of, and I also inked around the edges of this. I like this raw edge. In fact, I almost feel like it needs a little bit more kind of this way, but I don't want to shred the sponge, so it's not going to really show, but I did ink really heavy around all those edges because it's going to go on here. So, but what I want to do is what I'm thinking about doing is doing some sewing. So I'm going to build this, I'm going to build I can't talk. I'm going to build this up and see if I can sew without putting it on the cardboard yet. So I'm just going to get everything lined up here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this. Oh, this was supposed to go under this. So that won't need to be a part of this equation right now. I've already forgotten what I was doing. So this is going to go on top of that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this. I think I'm just going to grab my glue stick because, again, I do want to sew. So I'm going to have to pull the machine over. I wasn't quite thinking about that as of yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just get some glue on this, and hopefully it will hold enough so that I can get to the machine and stitch it. So there we go. So we're going to just put that on this fabric here. Oops. Which way did I want it to go? This way. I like that, the corner that's coming down here, right here. So that's perfect. Hopefully that will hold. And then we're going to put this on. And then where was this lace? I think this lace is supposed to go here because it measures the same width as the same height as this piece of fabric. So I think I'm going to have to use a little bit of glue on this though, because it is lace. So I'm just going to put a little bit here, and I'm going to use my finger to kind of spread it out so that it's not too concentrated. I don't want it to cause a problem with my machine. So I'm just going to put this piece of lace. I should probably not. I'm trying to keep that brown there just so you guys can see it better. Otherwise it's going to be difficult. I didn't really want it to hang off a lot, maybe like so. So I'm just going to push that down. I've got my paper towels already over here. And then I'm going to put this fabric on here. So again, I'm just going to use my glue stick, and hopefully that's going to be okay. Be enough to hold it in place for a bit. So I'm going to put that on here. I thought about inking the edges of this fabric, but I don't want to grunge it up, which is quite something for me to say. So I'm not exactly sure how I want to stitch yet, but I'll figure it out when I get to the machine. I will be doing that off camera though. And then I've got this piece of that same masking paper, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. So there we go. So in case you haven't seen the other videos that I've been working on, well, some of them will have not posted because I'm ahead of schedule. So this journal, Winter Wonderland, is going to be a giveaway on my channel. And in order to qualify for the draw, to be in the drawing, you just need to be a subscriber, give a thumbs up on the video, and leave a meaningful comment. And what I mean by meaningful is I want that engagement. I want to know a little bit about you. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, that will get you into the drawing if you're interested. You also do need to tell me, obviously, that you want to be in the drawing, because not everybody that leaves a comment actually wants to receive something. So I'm going to put this down. This was a little bit different than I had arranged it before, but I'm going to put this lace right here, kind of like so, and then put that paper on top like that, and then our little metal thing is going to go here. So oh, and I forgot our girl. She's the focal point. She needs to go on here. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. I love it. Okay, so, and then the magic is going to happen on the stitching because I don't really know what I'm going to do. But I will come back to you when the sewing is done. Okay, so I feel pretty good about this. I have a lot of strings to cut off here, so give me just a second so that I can show you up close what this is going to look like. I kind of went a little bit crazy, but I don't do a lot of this, so I was just kind of thought, well, why not just play around and see what I can do. So I think it's going to be gorgeous. I don't say so myself. So I'm not worried about the ones on the back because those can be tucked under. But I do want to trim them off so they don't stick out. Like so. There we go. Okay, so this is what she looks like close up. Isn't that just scrumptious? I just love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so now we can go ahead and put her on the cardboard here. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac to do that. And let me just get this string. Got a long one here. Got more here. I don't want those kind of being a surprise later necessarily. At least if they stick out someplace where I can't really snip them. So we're going to go ahead and glue this on. Love it. Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. Okay, so I'm going to go heavy with the Fabri-Tac in the middle because that's where the bulk of things is. If that makes any sense. And then I'm going to just put a little bit here so that I can kind of rub it out to the edges, because I don't necessarily want those same glue lines I was getting before. So what I mean is I'm just going to put some down and then I'm just going to spread it out with my finger a little bit, just a little bit at a time so I can control that. And this side as well. Hope you guys can see that. There we go. And then the top. And by it not being, you know, really glued down hard, it's going to be fine because, where'd my paper towel go? Because, oh goodness, it will, it'll allow it to continue to fray some, which I think is going to be lovely. So I lost my paper towel somewhere. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn her over and upside right, be a plus, and we're just going to put her down here on this dark frame, which I think is really cool. So there's my paper towels. Just going to press so we can get as much adhering there on those, just the white parts as possible. Oh no. Oh yeah, this is supposed to go on underneath the cardboard on the cover. I lose my place so easily. Can any of you guys identify? This should have been over a little bit more, but it's okay. I'm inclined to trim that. In fact, I am going to trim it. So I'm going to hold this here so that I don't cut that lace, but I am going to trim this up because now it's uneven. I'm going to try anyway. Oh goodness. It wasn't measured to any specific size, so I'm just going to trim it up so it's a little bit more centered. I wasn't obviously paying attention to the placement side to side, so that is fine. It's not going to show a lot there anyway. So perfect. She is so beautiful. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the cover over here. And so this is the top because it's got the little eyelet there. So we're going to go ahead and glue this onto the cover, and then we can play around with that that metal bit that we're putting on. So again, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac here because we are gluing onto fabric. Going heavy here around the edges. I'm hoping to do some mixed media index cards to make pockets for this journal. I'm hoping to do that this weekend and get it up in the coming weeks because I really have a hankering to do some mixed media in this journal because I can use some snow paste and some other fun stuff. So I'm hoping to do that upcoming. Oh my goodness, do I have a hole in this bottle? I've got a bubble coming out of the bottom. Wow. It's interesting. I might have to keep this bottle tipped over in my little container. Huh. Maybe I don't know my own strength. So we're going to go ahead and turn that over, and I'm going to center it. So this is the edge of my front cover, so I'm just going to center it top to bottom and side to side as best I can, like so. I'm going to go ahead and press that down really, really well. Like so. Now we can work on, that's going to take a bit to set. Oh, I forgot the other lace. Doggone it. Hold on. We should be able to pull this up. Goodness gracious. If my head wasn't attached, goodness gracious. Okay. Guys, remember I wanted to put this on. So let me just set this aside for a second. I should have just put this on the back and then I wouldn't have forgotten. So let me get the Fabri-Tac out again and put a solid bead here on this edge to glue this lace on. Holy cow. And then I'm going to have to just, oh man, I'm going to have to put more glue on here. I'm bummed that this bottle has a hole in it, clearly, on the bottom. May have to replace it. That hole is not concerning me because it's not going to affect anything on the front. So it's corrugated cardboard, which is probably why it's doing that. So I'm trying to figure out which is the front. I think it's like that. So we're going to again go about here And then I'm going to get my paper towel and just press that down. I'm going to have to put more glue on top here. That's okay. Boy, I'm glad I remembered though before it got all set though, because that would have been sad. Probably got plenty in the middle, so I'm just going to go around the edges again. There we go. Okie dokie. Now, oh Lord, here we go. Take 3. So it's going to go, oh no, and I put it on the wrong side. Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know what is wrong with me today. Easily fixed. Sorry, I'm a little off screen here, but I need to just get it on while this is wet and then turn it over. Ugh. You guys said you wanted to see the, how I problem solve, so you're seeing it in living color today. There we go. I'm all sticky. So there we go. It's gonna be okay, I promise. It'll be worth it when it's done. So there we go. So let me give this a press. Oh, I can't believe that. Actually, I can, but so funny. I don't think it's exactly even, but I wonder if I can lift it a little bit. Just to push that in a little bit more, like so. A little bit straighter. Okay. We'll see. There we go. Okay, now we can do our metal bits. So I pulled some, I tried a couple of different brads, and I landed on these ones that are silver, kind of glittery silver. So let me move this closer just while we do this part. And then I'm just going to bend those deals back, you know what they're called, the little metal bits. There we go. See if I can bend that one sideways so it doesn't stick out. There we go. It's not going to go anywhere because we're going to glue it down, but it's not very tight though, Renee. We'll deal with that in a second. So that's brad number 1. I may just get my, let me get my cutters here. See if I can just trim that off when we're done. They're a little bit long for this, so I'm going to bend that back and bend that back. I'd rather just have to cut one off and not both, so that's kind of why I'm being strategic about the way I place those. So now I'm just going to cut that little extra bit off. And the same over here. Promise I did have this planned out. Okay, there we go. So we're just going to be you're going to be careful when we put this down so that those brads don't show, and that these set so that they're sitting in the middle. So we're going to go ahead and use, you know what, I think I'm going to grab my E6000 for this. Just a second. I've got a little bottle. Where did I put it? I just kind of moved some things around right in front of me so that my microphone, I don't have to, it's not in my way. It's up in front of me instead of taking up desk space. So we're going to go ahead and use this little bottle of E6000. E6000, yeah. It hasn't even been opened yet. We're going to use that to put this on. I like it for attaching metal or anything super, super heavy. And that's going to help those brads to kind of be where they're supposed to be too. So let me kind of turn that so we can control that again. And then see if we can get it to kind of stick there. There we go. The Season of Magic. And it's going to go right here. Kind of off of that, centered under that piece of lace. Like that. I'm just going to give this a press. I'm going to hold those brads so that they stay in a really good place. I'll never forget, I was watching a video by Sean Petit. She's a mixed media artist, and I used to be on her creative team for a year. And I remember one video she said she was using E6000 and it was strong enough to pin a child to the wall, which I just thought was so funny. I have not heard that expression before, but it was all done in, in jest. It wasn't serious or anything. She's the sweetest lady ever, but I just thought it was a small child. It could glue a small child to the wall. So there we go, guys. So here she is. I'm going to hold her up so you guys can see. This is the cover. Absolutely gorgeous. Season of Magic. So that is it, my friends. So if you want to read the inspiration for this piece and kind of my thoughts, I've got different thoughts and quotes for each of the seasons that I'm going to be writing about, and just kind of giving my spin and my take on it, coming from where I come from, because each season for me has its difficulties because of history. So some are easier than others. Some of the transitions are easier than others. But I was really blessed to read some of the truth about the seasons and what each season brings and what it's leaving behind. And that's like the cycle of life. It's just the way it is. It's the way our world works, and it's beautiful. And I want to definitely be able to, think about that differently. And so I'm excited. So check back. The link will be in the description box below. So if you haven't already liked and subscribed, go ahead and do that. If you like my content, obviously. If you don't, blessings to you as you move along to what you're looking for. But take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.